Hey Hoopers, it's Deanne Love here, and I'm going to teach you an advanced sequence. We are going to break it down, and you have to have a lot of patience. And this kind of flow sequence or flow session is really about hoop dance, because it's not a ton about the tricks, although I will break the tricks down. It's a lot about momentum and transitions, so flowing with your hoop. Pinkies, right? Promise. Just go with it and flow with it, and something new and amazing might come out. The first one I'm going to do kind of standing still, but in the demonstration at the beginning, I was turning the whole time. But this one is a hoop hug or a body wrap, sometimes called a body wrap. You can find other tutorials. You can also see my hoop hug tutorial here somewhere. But we're going to do a variation. So in the tutorial where I taught the hoop hug, it came all the way around and then we grabbed it on the inside. But we're going to do a different grab or a different hold so that we can move with a different transition. So as the hoop, I'm using my right hand and I'm going across to the left. You can go either way that works for you. As the hoop comes back around your shoulders, instead of grabbing it on the inside here, you're going to take your arm down and grab it on the inside bottom right if you're using your right hand, and left if you're using your left hand. So the hoop is going to come around and your arm will go long and you're going to grab it on the bottom here. So your thumb should be facing your body, because the next thing that we do is an isolation bowel roll. Wrapping around with the right hand, just here. Then what's going to happen is you are going to drive with your thumb. So your thumb is going to take the hoop up, it's staying on the side, and then when it's above your head, it's at the back. And then when you turn again, your arm will be overhead. And at this point, you are going to push your hoop out so your thumb is up. So you can try that in flow. Around, catch at the bottom, turn away from your hoop, drive over, extend your arm and your hoop out in front. Now we're going to try something that I call a warrior weave, because my body is kind of in this warrior position. I'm not really sure what it's called. If you know, you can leave me a comment down below. We have finished here and our thumb is up and the hoop is on the right side of my body, and I'm going to keep my arm long and swing down my right hip. And now my hoop is behind me. I haven't flipped the hoop at all, but my thumb is down. Now I'm not going to flip the hoop, but what I am going to do is push my thumb up, and now my hoop is on my left side. So check this out. Thumb is down, push the hoop up, and now the hoop is on my left side. And that is when I'm going to feel this pull. My arm wants to come up and over. And then I'm going to push out and I'm back to where I started. So you can have your left arm out or your opposite arm that you're not using if you want to. And what it looks like is you swing down, push to the left side, and fold over. Thumb is up. Left arm out here just as a marker if you choose. You can find a balance stance that works for you. Swing the hoop, long arm, to the back. Push the hoop up and over to your left shoulder, but my arm is still straight here. Bend the elbow, bring the arm up, brush the hair forward, push the hoop out in front, back to where you started. Swing, bend, back to where we started. Swing, bend, back to where we started. So this move requires some momentum, otherwise you are using total strength. Make sure that your arms, your wrists, your hands are very warmed up, because you need to get this swinging pendulum action to bring the hoop down the right plane over the left, back to where you started. Swing, swing, bend. Cool. So let's put those three together. Wrapping around the body, catch at the bottom, back. Drive the thumb overhead as you turn away from your hoop. Push the arm out in front. Thumb is up. Swing, bend, back to where you started. Now is the exciting bit because we get to do a body roll. Now it is kind of like a chest roll, but we're going to turn diagonally. So we get to look at our hoop hurtling towards our head, and we're going to attempt to catch it in our back hand and then pass behind the back. So a few things that I want you to remember is your hand is going to be holding the hoop like this because that's where we finished, where the fingers are wrapped around the back of the hoop and the thumb is generally wrapped around the front or pushing up towards the sky. So you're going to loosen off a little and get used to using the fingers and the web of the hand to push the hoop onto your forearm. So you can just kind of get used to that, almost like you want to balance it, and watch where the hoop is going. Now I have a tendency to want to swing my arm down and then really push up. If that feels good for you, as long as you feel like you have precision, then that's totally fine. But you don't have to use that much driving force because we came back around to here. You can stay in that position and simply use this flicking of the hands and the wrist. So I'm going to face my hoop, and then I want the target to be my back left hand. So as the hoop is coming up and over, I'm going to look at that back left hand because then the hoop is going to fall down in my back plane. I'm going to swing it and pass it. So let's have a go. Try. If you have a hoop, you might want to try with me right now. So back to this first position. Now some other things that you want to try to remember is not to bend your elbows. Anytime that you bend your elbows, you're going to bring your hoop far too quickly and close to your body or your head, so which we don't want. So you want to really, it's almost like as you release your body roll or release the hoop from your hand, you want to extend even further. And I know, I do it myself all the time. The tendency is to want to bring the arms in or up to catch. But if you can, you're watching the hoop, so if it really is going to come towards your face, then you can quickly duck away. But that you want to make sure that you can extend away as if just when you release the hoop, you're feeling like this pull or this tension of your hands being pulled either way. And that's going to create this pathway for the hoop to actually roll on. If you bend your elbows in, like you can check this out. So I am trying to get the hoop to go from this hand along my body to this hand. If I bend my elbows, there's no way that's going to happen. What's going to happen is it's just going to go crash, bang, or worse. So as you release, extend. All right, so let's try and flow them all together. Remember, this can take practice, and you might find transitions in there where you can put in some of your favorite moves as well. So right hand wraps around the body. Turn if you need to. Turn, turn, turn. All the way. Grab the hoop with a long arm down at the bottom right hand side, inside of the hoop. Drive your thumb to your head as you turn away from your hoop. Continue turning, continue turning. So now the hoop is on your left hip and your arm is over your head and your thumb will be down towards the floor, but as you extend your arm out, then your thumb will magically be up towards the sky. And you can reposition your feet so that you have some balance here, and you're going to swing down, around, back. Bring the arm, open the chest, and go for your body roll. Reach, find that tension and extension. And then what is going to happen? When the hoop comes into this hand, you're going to push it behind you, thumb going down or thumb going towards the body, and then we're going to do a behind the back pass so that you can become confident again in your dominant hand, your first hand. And of course you don't have to do that behind the back pass if that doesn't feel right to you. You might roll back the other way, or you might have some cool tricks or just some dance flow. You might want to just practice in your non-dominant hand for a little while, which is a really good idea. So how did you go? We're trying to put those moves together and find some kind of grace and flow. It can be difficult because they are kind of logical and you need to have this really built up spatial awareness, but that does not mean that you can't try these out. And I personally, it took me a really long time to work out what on earth I was actually doing. When I was playing around with things, my hoop would sometimes just be moving into these spaces and I wasn't even quite sure what was going on. And so breaking it down can really help. So step by step, body wrap, the isolation barrel roll, the goddess, no, warrior, the warrior weave, maybe goddess too. The warrior weave and the diagonal body roll, then to a behind the back pass. So obviously not the most basic flow session, but definitely a lot of fun and a lot of freedom once you find your flow. So if you did find this challenging, or if you found it exciting, or if you found it new, or if you learned something about yourself, or if you wanted to snap your hoop and throw it in the bin, then give this video a thumbs up. And head on over to hooplovers.tv and hang out with me there. Of course, you can always subscribe to this YouTube channel because I give free tutorials every single week.